Després ha estat un autèntic golpista, és a dir, ha seguit la seva filosofia amb Barça, la metodologia de la Johan Cruyff, i ara tindrà l'oportunitat i farà realitat els seus somnis de poder fer-ho, a més, amb les millors eines, amb els jugadors del Futbol Club Barcelona, els que, per cert, ja ha pogut conèixer aquest matí perquè abans d'arribar a Quique Setien Camp Nou, doncs s'ha passat per la ciutat esportiva de Joan Cruyff per dirigir la seva primera sessió d'entrenament amb els jugadors del primer club blaugrana. Veiem que ja es col·loca tothom, està allò de president espanyol, ja baixa, acompanyat del president del Barça, el nou entrenador del Futbol Club Barcelona, Quique Setien. Per tant, tots aquí, esperar aquesta
You join us for the presentation of Quique Setien as the new Football Club Barcelona coach. He is accompanied by Josep Maria Bartomeu, the president of Football Club Barcelona. This is the contract signing at 2 p.m. local time. We are going to have the press conference as well with Quique Setien, in which he will address questions from the media. This is a private signing in the President Sunyol box. Quique Setien announced yesterday night as the new Barca coach, replacing the outgoing Ernesto Valverde. Well, the deal running through to the 30th of June of 2022. Quique Setién, with previous experience at several clubs in La Liga, Las Palmas and Betis. Betis' his most recent team, who he coached in the 2018-2019 league season. Well, Quique Setién putting pen to paper on the new deal, the 61-year-old coming in to coach Barca, and he started things off early as well. He had a coaching session early on today. He will have a double session today because the Barca squad will be out training this afternoon as he gets to know the players preparing for the game against Granada, which is coming up at the weekend. Well, the Barca squad returning from the Spanish Super Cup and back in training. The Liga returns this week, and it will be a quick turnaround for Quique Setien. His debut in the dugout will come on Sunday in the evening fixture. It's the dream job for Quique Setien. He's not been shy about his admiration of Football Club Barcelona. Well, following the press conference, we'll have a photo session with Quique Setien out on the pitch at the Camp Nou, a place where he's visited many times as player and as a coach. An exciting moment, this presentation and contract signing taking place on Tuesday after a swift turnaround. Quique Setién announced at just past 11 o'clock local time last night, and he takes on a new challenge at Barça. So now it's official, Quique Setién, the new Football Club Barcelona coach. We'll be hearing from him shortly in his first press conference in his new role. After putting pen to paper, he's also going to sign that announcement board. Welcome to Quique Setién, the new Football Club Barcelona coach. So that's the scene around at the Camp Nou. President Josep Maria Bartomeu is present. Also Eric Abidal, the technical secretary, and of course the former Barça player. Quique Setién, of course, has been here many a time as player and coach. It's, of course, his biggest coaching job to date, but he won't be overawed by the Camp Nou. There's always been a dream of the 61-year-olds to coach here.
Què tal, Mario, Judit, Salva, Àlex, molt bon dia. Doncs sí, ara mateix soc en directe des de la...
Quique Setién getting acquainted with members of the board, also acquainted with the players today in the morning training session. Many of whom he knows already and has shared some kind words in the dressing room after games in which he's coached with Betis and Las Palmas. Un cop s'ha fet la fotografia, Quique Setién solament ara serà fa també amb tots els membres del seu estat tècnic, tots aquests membres que han acompanyat ja de fet al llarg del primer entrenament del dia d'avui. And he will have his coaching staff in place as well. It's a new era at Football Club Barcelona. As they look to pick up plenty of silverware this season, the La Liga title, the Copa del Rey, which starts off for Barça next week, and of course the Champions League as well. Quique Setien, curiously enough, the most recent away coach to win a league game here at the Camp Nou. Renowned for his attacking play, for his free-flowing, attractive football, something that the fans have been requesting. And there's the scene in the press conference room. We're going to be hearing from Quique Setién as well. Eric Abidal and Josep Maria Bartomeu will be present. An air of anticipation. The journalists have been waiting to pose the questions. Spent all of yesterday awaiting the news. The press release announcement finally coming at around about 11 o'clock local time in Spain. A new era beginning at Football Club Barcelona. Well, we're going to hear some of the responses from Quique Setién in both Spanish, and we will have English translation as well. Quique Setién, Josep Maria Bartomeu and Eric Abidal making their way down from the presidential box in the Camp Nou. And Quique Setién, renowned for his great playing style. It's one that's earned him success as well. He's managed to get victories over the likes of Real Madrid. This morning he took charge of his first training session with all the players available for the first team, including Arthur, who did some of the training with the team. Iñaki Peña, Ricky Puig, Araujo, Carlos Perez and Ansu Fati from Barça B also getting to know the new first team coach. Well, the journalists are gathered waiting for what is going to be an important moment in Barca's season. We're starting off the second half of the campaign. A new coach in charge.
A ver si pueden poner la luz otra vez.
Well, there are sure to be plenty of questions from the gathered journalists in attendance. A very swift turnaround after the return from Saudi Arabia, after the comeback from the Super Cup. The club preparing a new incumbent for the coaching position. Quique Setién from Cantabria in the north of Spain. He comes to Barcelona after spells at Racing Santander, Poliegido, Logroñés, Lugo, Las Palmas and Betis. As a player, he spent 12 seasons at Racing Santander, as well as featuring for Atletico Madrid, for whom he won the Spanish Super Cup. Also played for Logroñés, who would go on to coach them, and Levante as well. Did have a spell out of the game before returning to coaching with Lugo. And Las Palmas and Betis, the two clubs he has coached in the top flight. Everything's set up. There will be some videos played with some of the highlights of Quique Setién's coaching career. He will, of course, have the Barça shirt as well to pose with. he will be raring to go with this, the biggest challenge of his coaching career. Quique Setién, a confessed admirer of the style of play of Barca great Johan Cruyff. And what better job for one of the disciples of Cruyff's style. And the hot seat at the Camp Nou. It comes with a lot of pressure, but also plenty of rewards, plenty of opportunities as well. A first opportunity for Quique Setién to coach in the Champions League. Barca, of course, top of the league. And will be competing on 3 fronts. The Copa del Rey also coming up as of next week.
Me lo hice anoche, un tío
Macarrón.
Macarrón.
Yo quiero de eso, tío.
Macarrón, San Carpicado.
Manel, lo de la Copa es
Well, just past 2 p.m. local time, we're awaiting the arrival of Quique Setién.
Manel, martes o miércoles.
He has already signed his contract. It's been made official. Barca coach through to the end of June of 2022.
Primero sí.
And he's just on his way down here to the press room. Well, plenty of players have already expressed their admiration for Quique Setién. There's a famous photo of Quique Setién talking to Leo Messi after a game in which Barca beat Betis. A signed shirt as well from Gerard Piqué from following that game. Everybody taking their place ahead of a question and answer session with Quique Setién and also a couple of members of the Barca board. Well, this is the presentation in the Auditori 1899. Facility here at the Camp Nou that hosts several events throughout the year. There will be few events bigger than this one, though. Quique Setién's unveiling as a Barca coach. There will be a packed training schedule for the team ahead of the game against Granada. Quique Setién will be getting straight to work and trying to impose some of the ideas that he has, which are very similar to the traditional Barca style.
Siéntese, va.
Plenty of expectation about Quique Setien's arrival. Some of the highlights of his coaching career include helping his hometown club of Racing Santander to the Spanish top flight in 2002. Well, here is Quique Setien on the left, Josep Maria Bartomeu, and Eric Abidal, the technical secretary of Football Club Barcelona. Well, we're going to hear words from all three after the traditional photo with the Barca shirt. There we see a packed Auditori 1899. Where we are live with the first press conference for Quique Setién in charge of Football Club Barcelona.
Bon dia. Gràcies per venir en aquesta presentació. Gràcies per aquesta assistència.
Thank you for coming to the presentation, says Josep Maria Bartomeu. It's the presentation of Quique Setién, the new coach of the Barça first team.
Públicament al Quique que hagi acceptat aquest repte. Quique, gràcies por aceptarlo. No es, ya sabes que es un equipo como el Barça siempre tiene sus dificultades, pero también tiene sus recompensas y bueno, venir a entrenar al Barça, pues para todos nosotros es realmente un placer que tú estés aquí.
Maria Bartomeu is saying it is an honor to have Quique Setién here, and he's aware that it is a difficult job, and to thank him publicly for accepting the challenge.
Treball amb la pilota, amb el joc, i això també ha fet que avui en dia la seva manera d'entrenar sigui una manera d'entrenar com la que al Barça ens agrada, no? Un entrenador.
Also saying that his style of play is something that Barca identify with and enjoy.
Totalment amb el Quique. Abans de parlar i de passar la paraula a la Vidal, que parlarà de molts aspectes, també volia parlar avui i agrair l'Ernesto Valverde. Agrair a l'Ernesto tot el...
Josep Maria Bartomeu also wanting to thank Ernesto Valverde for his work in charge.
L'entrenador ha estat realment una relació amb l'Ernesto molt propera, una relació que...
There was a very close relationship with Ernesto Valverde.
I hem gaudit, hem triomfat, hem guanyat.
And that we've achieved much success with him.
De moltes maneres. Després ho parlarem, hi haurà una sèrie de preguntes, però sí que volia, potser amb això sí que ser molt conscient que el fet a part de les lligues, de la Copa del Rei, de la Supercopa, de tot el que hem fet, jo volia, abans de passar la paraula amb ell, una mica parlar del que ha passat aquests darrers dies, del per què el canvi d'entrenador.
Maria Bartomeu also wanted to explain why the change has been made.
Fa temps sabíem que la dinàmica de l'equip era millorable.
The dynamic in the team was improvable, we thought.
De la Lliga, 8 anys de Champions.
We're into the next round of the Champions League. The Copa del Rey is getting started. And we'll start that with a lot of desire. But you know that it was a dynamic that we could improve. We were aware of this as well. We've spoken about this many times with Ernesto Valverde. From the summer on, we've always been talking with him. Very openly with him, with Eric Abidal and his team as well, with Oscar Grau as well. We've always been very close to Ernesto Valverde, with a very good relationship with him.
bueno, de les coses que es podia millorar.
We spoke about what could be improved.
De que calia. De fet, aquests darrers dies ho havíem parlat amb ell també, no? Doncs algunes reunions.
We've also spoken with him over recent days.
Per què hem fet el canvi ara, no?
Why have we made the change now?
Que tothom ha dit, no? Per què hem fet el canvi ara d'entrenador? Bé, ho hem fet el canvi ara perquè estem a mitja temporada i
That's because we're at the halfway point of the season.
un impuls per afrontar aquest final de temporada o aquesta meitat segona de la temporada.
And we wanted to make the change before this second half of the season. It's a push, a boost that we wanted at Barça, and we thought this new dynamic
Podem i aspirem guanyar
could help us aspire to win the league
la Champions, evidentment, i també la Copa.
and the Champions League and the Copa del Rey.
Jo, abans, torno a dir-ho, abans que passi la Vidal, jo volia parlar una mica
Before I pass over to Abidal,
sortint de les formes del Barça.
I want to tell you about the
Evidentment que a mi m'hagués
way
agradat
Barca do things.
les coses es fessin d'altra manera. M'hagués agradat que fossin millors. És evident. El tarannà d'aquesta junta directiva, el tarannà de
Things could have been
no és aquesta.
done better.
I de fet, jo vull dir que les últimes
I want to say that
setmanes i
in recent
hem
weeks,
parlat amb altres entrenadors.
we've spoken with other coaches. We have spoken with lots of coaches. Why? Because it's the obligation of Eric Abidal and the technical team
Parlar amb altres entrenadors.
to speak with other coaches. With Quique Setién, we've also spoken to him.
Però bé, com sabeu, no se n'ha fet públic dels altres.
As you know, that wasn't made public by
La feina
us.
està feta i
The job is done.
de fer ara el canvi. Perquè
And we decided that it was the moment to make the change
la segona temporada. I per acabar
to provide this boost for the team in the second half of the season.
agrair un altre cop a l'Ernesto
I want to
Valverde.
thank once more Ernesto Valverde.
Tots nosaltres una relació
We've
excel·lent.
had an excellent relationship with him.
Parlar ahir, aquest matí també hem parlat amb l'Ernesto, avui ha vingut a la seta esportiva.
He's come to the Ciutat Deportiva to speak with the players as well,
Parla d'ell mil meravelles. És
and they all speak very highly of him. He's a very nice person
molt amb nosaltres.
who's given us a
Ara
lot.
amb aquest canvi, doncs,
We've made this change,
Quique, gràcies.
and thank you, Quique Setién. Thank you for coming here. Thank you for being here.
Decirte que sabemos todos que eres un enamorado de
We all know that you're a huge fan of Johan Cruyff's style.
de sentirte próximo a nuestro club.
This is a way of feeling you're close to this club.
Y nuestras ideas comparte totalmente la tuya.
We share the same ideas and objectives as you.
Que ens ha guanyat, doncs ara estarà amb nosaltres el Quique i jo li dono l'enhorabona. Muchas gracias.
Congratulations, Quique, and welcome.
Bon dia a tothom. Para presentar a Quique, ya sé que
Hello, everybody.
muchos de vosotros ya lo conocéis.
I know that many of you already know who Quique Setien is.
Una alegría.
To have him here is a great joy for us.
Creo que estoy seguro que es un entrenador que ha
I'm sure that he's a coach who's
demostrado el ADN que tiene sus equipos.
shown through the teams that he's had
Lo más impactante para mí era la comunicación y la colaboración.
great skills. What I've liked most about him is the communication he has with his players, his way of working, his way of coaching.
Está siempre centrado en los detalles.
He's always focused on details,
Siempre me recuerda mis
and he always
mis
reminds
épocas
me
de
of my
Barça.
time at Barca as a player.
Para competir al alto nivel, pues los
So,
detalles son
as to
muy importantes,
compete at the highest level, details are very important,
la Champions.
whether that's in the league, the cup, or the Champions League.
Quique, gracias porque
Thank you,
hemos
Quique.
hablado, me dijiste la ilusión que tenías.
Because you've shown your desire to come to Barca, your excitement. I know that together we can do great things.
Me gustó lo que vi hoy.
I liked what I saw today
Hablaste
and what you said to me a while ago, and the feeling that you have with your staff.
de lo que he visto hoy.
From what I've seen today,
Tenemos todos juntos, pues te deseo lo mejor de Barça.
I wish you all of the best. Thank you for coming to Barca to help us, and thank you to your staff. People like you. You're at home. This is your home now, and anything you need,
El capitán segundo y
and you can talk to the president first, to your captain then, and then to me. Thank you and welcome.
Bueno, lo primero, sin duda,
First of all, Without a doubt, I want to thank this institution, the president, Abidal, and Ramon, for the opportunity they've given me to come here. This, not even in my wildest dreams could I have imagined this, that I'd be here. I'm someone who's very emotional, and today is a very special day for me. But first things first, the main thing is that I have to thank the club. And the next thing is that I'm excited about this challenge and this project. Undoubtedly, it's the biggest thing. I need to transmit to the players, and we know that we depend on the players. I need to transmit this desire, this enthusiasm, this will to win, this confidence that I have now, and that, as Abidal says, normally it's not very complicated for me to transmit it. We've had the first training session today and everything was gone very quickly. Yesterday I was walking around by the cows in my town, and now today I'm in the Ciutat Esportiva at Barcelona, coaching the best players in the world for a team, a huge team, which I'll never be able to improve upon. This is the highest accolade. I've got a very, very good relationship with him and always have done. I want to thank Ernesto Valverde. He's always seemed to me to be a very correct person. The amount of times we've coached against one another, he's always been very nice to me. I value very much the work that he's done. I value his how he is. I value his principles and many other things about him. I've also spoken to him about trying to get some contact with him, because there are many things from his work that are going to be very good for us. It's true that everybody offers their own caveats to the play, to the way the team play. But I want to thank, first of all, him for leaving me with a side who are top of the league. You can imagine what I've been thinking a few months back, waiting for an opportunity. You always suppose that it's going to be a team who are struggling, who are in difficulties, who are down towards the bottom in a negative run of form. Barça, maybe the defeat in the Super Cup has provided some consequences that we find difficult to accept. But the work that Ernesto Valverde has done and how he's left the team is something to be thankful for. The normal thing is you're not left with a side who are top of the league. That's not a normal thing. I've spoken with the players. We've had our first contact with one another, and the willingness that they have is extraordinary. We're absolutely sure that we're going to understand each other very quickly, because a lot of the things that we're going to propose to them, they already know. We're not going to have any difficulty in keeping up this level of demand and intensity, so that games don't get away from us like happened the other day against Atletico Madrid. I hope that we keep this up in our everyday work. There's talk, and then there's your job, there's the facts. So both my coaching staff and the people around me who are going to work with me at the club, we will be as willing as possible for hard work. Hard work is always the most important thing. Conviction also, but hard work, real tough work. I'm someone with a lot of convictions. I set out a style of life for myself a long time ago, and this is what I'm going to continue here. I'm very clear about things. It's true that I always listen to everybody, but then it's very difficult to take out of my mind the ideas that I already have that I'm convinced about. We all know that my way of playing, how my teams play, I'm the first in defending what I do. Barcelona, I'm sure, are going to continue on their path. We'll try as much as we can to improve whatever we can and try and get the best performance from the players so that everybody gives the best of themselves.
Moltes gràcies, Quique. Bienvenido, benvingut. Comencem la roda de premsa. Per una qüestió d'agenda no podem anar més enllà de les 14:35 i pico. L'entrenador d'entrenar, hi ha altres factors que...
We're going to have a press conference, a question and answer session with journalists.
La persona que va dirigida aquesta pregunta. Comencem amb els mitjans que estan en directe, sisplau. Gràcies.
Hola, mister Ángels Prieto de Barça TV. Bienvenido. Acaba de decirnos que se hace realidad su sueño.
You just said that it's a dream come true. You're someone with great conviction, and one of those is always your style, which is non-negotiable. I don't know if you've spoken much to the players, but what's your big objective this season? Undoubtedly, my objective is to win everything that you can win. That's obvious. This club doesn't have any other path to follow than trying to improve every year after year and trying to win as many trophies as possible, as well as playing well. I think that the best way to get to victory is by playing well. Sometimes it doesn't happen, but it's important that we associate this associate winning with doing a lot of things well and playing well. It's not just about one day, it's about keeping it up for a long time.
President Ramon Salmurri, en directe a Catalunya Ràdio. No sé si entén que la imatge del club pot haver quedat tocada amb la gestió d'aquesta crisi, especialment de la sortida d'Ernesto Valverde.
Do you think that the image of the club has been damaged by this?
A mi m'hagués agradat que fos d'una altra manera.
I said before that I would have liked it to have happened in a different way, but things went as they went. And I repeat that for a while now, the technical staff under Eric Abidal has been talking to other coaches. It hasn't been made public. Ernesto Valverde, who we've been talking with for a while, saying that we need to improve things. It's not a surprise to him. We used to speak with a great atmosphere between us. It's easy to talk with him. He offers a lot of things. He's a very intelligent person. And we were all in the same boat. But I reiterate, I would have preferred the change to have happened in a different way.
Hola, bon dia, president. Marta Ramon, en directe al primer toc de RAC1. Aprofundint una mica amb aquesta idea que ha repetit, que ha reiterat, que els hauria agradat fer
Talking about this idea that you would have liked it to have worked out in a different way.
Senten en aquest sentit que han estat injustos
Do you think you've been unfair to Ernesto Valverde?
I que potser el procés per arribar amb Quique Setien a estar assegut avui aquí no ha estat el correcte?
It hasn't been the correct path to get Quique Setién here?
No, jo torno a dir, repetir-ho.
I'll say it again. For a long time, the technical staff have been talking with different coaches to find out their plans for the future.
Al llum pública. Al final ha sortit un nom, però mai havia sortit ningú. Per tant, la feina que s'ha fet des del club ha sigut sempre amb discreció.
The work of this club is always done with discretion.
I l'anàvem treballant. A l'últim moment, doncs, hi ha un nom que ha sortit.
And then a name's come up, which shouldn't have come up because we always have private conversations with projects, always looking at the future. Obviously, we would have preferred that it happened in a different way.
aquí darrere, aquí atrás, míster a su derecha, aquí al fondo, Adrià Albets, en directo para Ser Cataluña. Bienvenido. Nos decía usted una vez en el Que t'hi jugues que el día que se retire Messi...
You said once that the day Messi retires, you're going to cry eternally. You're a very emotional person. What did you feel like today when you had the best player in the world under your orders?
Al verle.
La verdad es que ya se lo he dicho a algunos, no solamente a Messi.
I said not just to Messi, but to other players. Messi obviously is a special, unique case, but I've spoken with other players as well.
Al decir que he disfrutado muchísimo.
That I've enjoyed a lot the last few years, the last 12, 13 years watching Barça, sitting in front of the TV, watching this team and these players
que me han hecho disfrutar realmente
who've allowed me to really enjoy football.
Ha sido cada día, cada partido.
It's been every day, every game that I've enjoyed. It's not just you see one enjoyable game every X amount of time. There's always something that you can take away from every game that's enjoyable to watch. Obviously today,
ponerme a entrenar,
being able to coach the best player in the world and his teammates, his great teammates. I've said this from the start. I'm still not completely aware what this means. But we've spoken, I've spoken to him, I've spoken to him, to some other players as well. And the reality is that, I've already said, one thing is your admiration for someone.
Esta la realidad.
And then there's the reality. Messi is Messi, Busquets is Busquets, Piqué is Piqué. There's a series of players who my relationship with them, I'm sure, is going to be extraordinary. But everybody needs to have their place. I'm sure that it's going to be an extraordinary relationship with everybody. And they'll see what I'm like, and they'll see that I'm someone who's sincere and direct. I don't beat around the bush. When I see something I don't like, well, I always say, I always try and fix it. Above all, so that they work hard, because they have the talent, and that's the most important thing.
Mister, perdone, a usted lo tendré más a mano en las ruedas de prensa, así que le daré la pregunta al señor Bartomeu. Enhorabuena por el fichaje, señor Setién.
Congratulations on the signing.
Se habló mucho el año pasado.
A lot was spoken about Valverde continuing.
Sino que le ampliaron el contrato, le dieron confianza. De hecho, después de la Supercopa, Messi dijo que tenía plena confianza en Valverde. Me gustaría saber si hace meses que hablan con entrenadores, ¿dónde se
Messi said he had full confidence in the coach. When was the moment when you lost confidence in him?
Ha tenido que correr el Barça.
How come it happened over the course of 3 days?
El año pasado, si no recuerdas, había un montón de...
Last year, I don't know if you remember, there was a lot of requests for Valverde not to continue, and I personally always believed in him.
Me ha gustado mucho cómo es como entrenador.
I liked how he played, how he was a person, as a coach, and he had the confidence of the club. We decided to continue with Ernesto in this project. The only thing, as I said before, in recent weeks, there was a dynamic that wasn't very good. We spoke to him. It wasn't new for him. We've spoken to him. It's been a collective job with the coaching staff, with Javi Borras, with Derek Abidal, with me, with Valverde. We've been speaking to find solutions. After speaking, we decided a few days ago the best thing to give a boost to the side was to make a change, to make a change in coach.
Llevar a esa segunda parte de la temporada.
That allows us to handle the second half of the season on a high. We're starting well. We're top of the league in the Champions League. We're in the last 16. The work Valverde did, I liked it a lot, but it was the moment to make a change, to give a boost. I want to thank Ernesto Valverde. He wrote a farewell letter, which perfectly summed him up. He's a great person. He's someone with great values. And for many of us,
somos amigos.
We're friends with him. We've had a great relationship with someone who's left a very good mark here. I coincide with what Quique Setién says. We've got a lot of respect for him.
Hola, Quique, bienvenido. Elena Condis, de la cadena COPE. El presidente Bartomeu habla de impulso.
President Bartomeu has spoken about a boost, and you said that you've got a lot of talent in the squad, but you've got to work hard, that you can't let games get away from you. What do you think the team need in terms of a boost to improve?
Bueno, vamos a ver. Cada vez que llega un entrenador nuevo,
every time a new coach comes in, there's a stimulus for everybody who's inside the dressing room. And you notice this immediately. That can dilute
siendo lo que eras antes, a lo mejor, ¿no? Pero ese primer estímulo,
this stimulus, though,
que ahora, por ejemplo, en el entrenamiento de hoy se ha visto, es lo que
we saw in the training session today. We need to maintain that.
Todavía no he conocido
and obviously, I still haven't ever met any coach who's the same as another. We all have our own caveats.
Tenemos una manera de hacer las cosas.
We have a way of doing things.
O sea, no hay nadie que sea igual.
And nothing's ever the same. I don't know if my way is the best or the worst, but it's my way.
Yo estoy absolutamente convencido.
And I'm completely convinced that I can transmit a lot of the things that I like.
Y que no solamente con Valverde, sino desde hace
not just with Valverde, but with
siempre piensas que se pueden hacer
with
mejor.
time, I think we can do better.
Si pensara que todo está bien, seguramente.
If we think that everything's
yo creo que
good,
eso no lo piensa nadie.
I don't think anybody really thinks that. It's difficult for everything to go well. But if we continue with this energy that we have now,
para llegar a un sitio diferente y
we can get to a different place and we can
de nuestras matices,
convince with our caveats, with our proposal, with details, as Eric Abidal said. That will be tremendously important. Communication will be important. There's so many things that can vary from one coach to another. I've had 20 coaches in my sporting career, and I know what it means.
Hay entrenadores que esto es igual, este no sé
Many people say, oh, this coach is exactly the same, but the reality is that we're all completely different. I come here with enormous energy. I'm very clear
lo que es el Barcelona.
About what Barca means.
Mamau, no desde dentro de la casa, pero sí desde fuera, porque
we've seen this from outside, not from inside, but we spent a lot of time watching this side on the television, analysing the side, including in games that we've played against them.
Creo que hay muchas cosas
I think there are a lot of things that we are very clear about that we're going to try to transmit.
And
we'll try and provide the players with this stimulus. These are just words, though. We need things that are long-lasting. Once we've won a game, we need to be focused on the next game. We need that self-demanding nature. We need that because of the size of this club, because we have the best players in the world. They're not going to find anything better than here. This has to be a stimulus, a great stimulus for them, just like it is for us.
Perdó, se'ns tira el temps a sobre. Haurem de fer les tres últimes preguntes, sisplau.
We're going to have the last three questions.
Para el presidente José María Bartomeu, no sé si ha podido hablar con algún miembro.
I don't know if you've been able to speak to any member of the squad about the change.
Que es importante saber o conocer la opinión de la.
Is it important to know the opinions of the players? Have you been able to speak to them about the departure of Valverde and the arrival of Quique Setien? This morning I was at the Ciudad Deportiva. I was in the training dressing room. Ernesto Valverde was there. He was able to say goodbye. I spoke to Quique and Abidal, and I've spoken to the players as well, because Quique was presenting himself to the squad. I spoke with the players, and they're professionals. They know how Quique Setien is as a player, less as a player, because they're a little bit younger than that, but What I want to add as well is that I've spoken about recent weeks in which we've been speaking with other coaches. Eric and Ramon brought a proposal to us, which was to sign Quique Setien as coach. It was unanimously accepted. We knew about him as directors, and we knew about his trajectory as a coach. It's very gratifying to have him here. You've been brought here to play a defined style of play. Have you got the squad that's sufficient to play the style of football that you want? You've also got the big problem of trying to replace Luis Suarez. Also, Ricky Puig worked today. You've got players from the academy coming up.
Bueno, evidentemente, vamos a ver, uno puede tener conformada una idea.
Obviously, you can have an idea of what this club, this team is like, and what these players are like, but the reality is that until you're inside and you're living with it, and that you put them in the context that you have, you don't really know how far you can go. Everything's been very fast. I said yesterday I was walking around in my hometown, and now I'm here. Everything's been a lot of information, a lot of meeting people, everything's new. We saw for the first time the team training, the players training. There are a lot of things to talk about, there are a lot of things to profile, and lots of things we need to understand through training and through games. What I can say,
porque de hecho he hablado ya tiempo, anoche estuvimos hasta las tantas de la mañana.
I spoke until very late yesterday about it, about the players, receiving information about them. I listen to everything, but what I'm going to value most is the perception that I have
sobre lo que yo vea.
Of what I see, and the conversations that I'll maintain with my coaching staff, because the context is going to be completely different. The willingness of those who aren't playing is going to be higher, and those who are playing also, there's going to be a series of changes which I have to understand.
Tenemos clara cuál es la filosofía.
We're clear about what the philosophy is. We've got a lot of things clear in our minds, but it's all between commas.
Las cosas a simple vista, vamos, no.
We're not going to judge things just by a simple look at them. And regarding the academy players, I don't know if you followed my career.
Evidentemente, este club,
but obviously this club has an extraordinary academy, like happened for me at other teams. I don't know it in depth, the majority of the players, but they'll be playing, training with us and participating. And the players in the first team need to be clear that talent that's coming up
es porque realmente se lo merecen. Y yo tengo una
will get the chance if they deserve it. I'm going to make a special effort to take care of these kids, because you can always have a new kid who comes through and adds energy to everything. Normally, that provides a boost to the squad, and that means that those who are up at the top don't relax either, and that's very important. That's sending out a message and a stimulus to all of the kids who are in the lower ranks of the club. It's a message I've always sent out and I've always complied with. If they really progress and really earn their spot, and they are perfectly able to play in the first team and be another member of the first team squad. That's clear.
Hola, Francesc Latorre de TV3. Una pregunta pel president Josep Maria Bartomeu. Un dels noms que ha sortit aquests dies,
one of the names who's come up,
que apuntava vostè fa uns moments, és el de Xavi.
Is Xavi as a possible coach. Xavi said no. He didn't want to take charge of the team now, but he said that he'd talk in June. With this new scenario, is Xavi ruled out for next season?
Respondrem a l'Eric i jo. Jo respondré una pregunta.
Eric and I will respond to one question apiece. Quique Setién signed until 2022. There's also a clause that there can always be a change. Unless somebody had a contract through to 2023, and we saw that there was a change. Abidal has been in contact with everybody talking about the future, about their plans, and he will explain how things have gone without talking about names. Because no name bar one has come up and been made public, because that's not our style. He's been doing a work looking for coaches and speaking to them. And he's brought Quique Setién here, who's someone who we like very much. Thank you for the question. I'm not only going to talk about Xavi, but I'm going to talk about the situation for the club's position on this. As the president said, with Ramon, we've done a great job, a big job, because when it comes to taking decisions, we all know that the board need responses to the questions. Every coach has their own plan, every coach has their own way of working. Every coach has their DNA, every coach has their image and character. But when it comes to taking decisions as a club, we have to think about the club, the situation, and the project. Quique Setién is here because he has a project that I've already explained. We like his way of working. His DNA and his philosophy is something we like. And besides that, in football, we know a lot of things can change, but we have full confidence in the coach and his staff. I'm going to repeat from what I've seen today on the first day of training. There's a lot of changes. Without asking for anything, because his staff have that inside them. I think we can reach our objectives with him. In terms of all the coaches we've spoken to, I respect them, but we had to take the decision, and we took the best one for the club. And for us, the perfect coach is Quique Setién.
Hola aquí, Quique. Hola, Fernando Polo de Mundo Deportivo. Lo primero, dado que ha perdido los goles de Luis Suárez.
First of all, because you've lost Luis Suárez's goals, do you want to sign a striker in the winter? And also, because Barça have called you up and you know them well,
quiere aplicar con el equipo.
What tactical style and formation do you want to apply?
Bueno, yo creo que tenemos muchas cosas.
I think we have a lot of things to talk about with regards to this. We haven't had time practically to do that. We haven't done anything. We've just arrived. We haven't seen enough to be able to analyze this perfectly.
Yo tengo claro que siempre vamos a tener.
I'm clear that we're always going to have a consensus in the decisions that we make. They'll listen to me, I'll listen to them. I'm someone who is dedicated to a club.
Acertamos y todos nos equivocamos.
I know that we all make mistakes and we all get things right.
No es algo ahora mismo. Me preocupa porque
it's not something that worries me right now because we have an important player out, but we have to think about the players that we have got.
Lo importante de verdad.
That's the really important thing.
Respecto al dibujo,
as for the formation, I think the important thing is the philosophy.
Es tener claro
we need to be clear
a lo que jugamos.
What our playing style is.
El dibujo posiblemente valoremos en algún momento algún cambio.
We'll possibly look at making a few changes, maybe to go to 4-3-3
o del 4-4-2
or 4-4-2, because that's been played a lot recently.
Pero eso lo dejo también entre comillas.
But I'll leave that
necesitamos ver
to one side because we need to see
todavía muchas cosas
a lot of things first of all. Speak with the players.
Que valorar muchas cosas como
we need to value a lot of things, evaluate them
claro que la filosofía
to find out what to do. But the philosophy is not going to change.
El dibujo pues puede hacerlo, no digo que no.
The formation might do. I'm not going to say that it won't.
Hola, mister. Javier Giraldo, del diario Sport. Bienvenido a Barcelona. Me gustaría preguntarle si con usted en el...
I'd like to ask you if, with you in the dugout, the fans are going to have more fun.
Y si me permite un detalle, preguntarle, pues bueno, cómo supo del interés del club.
And I want to ask you how you found out about the interest from Barca and how long you took to make the decision.
Gracias.
Vamos a ver, yo normalmente cuando voy a los equipos que he ido
Normally when I go to clubs,
garantizado una cosa.
I only guarantee one thing, and that's that my team are going to play well.
Tanto en Las Palmas,
I think both at Las Palmas, Lugo,
como en el Betis,
and Betis,
el equipo, no voy a decir mi equipo, el equipo jugaba bien.
The team played well.
Habéis visto que tenía una identidad.
You also they had an identity, that there wasn't a lot of variation.
Es verdad que a veces te veías sometido por los rivales, pero las menos.
Sometimes we were beaten by our opponents, but fewer times.
Visto a un equipo que ha jugado bien casi siempre.
When you've seen a side who've played well all the time, especially in this recent times, the team played very well in the last game for 70 minutes. There are a few things that you have to improve if you keep up that level.
Pero eso lo tenemos claro.
But we're clear about things.
Y luego me hablabas, perdón. Ah, vale. Bueno, evidentemente no he tardado absolutamente.
Obviously, I didn't take take even 5 minutes to make the decision to accept the offer.
Que se caía por su propio peso. Fue una sorpresa ayer.
It was a surprise yesterday when I was told about it.
Es verdad que has leído la prensa, sabes que estabas.
You read in the press, you see that you might be there. You might be an option.
Yo jamás pensaba,
but I never thought really, with complete sincerity, that Barca were going to come in for me.
No tengo un currículum.
I don't have an extensive CV. I don't have trophies, but I have shown for a long time, including before when I was a coach, that I love this philosophy of play. The only thing I've done has been made Betis, Las Palmas and Lugo play very good football. I don't know if this was didn't know if this was enough to convince as big a club as Barca to give me this opportunity, but I'm tremendously grateful.
Moltes gràcies, Quique. Gràcies a tots. Disculpeu les...
Well, those are the words of Quique Setién, Josep Maria Bartomeu and Eric Abidal after the first press conference. Quique Setién presented as the new Barca coach. And we're going to have a photo session following the press conference. Quique Setién just making his way down to pitch side, to the technical area at the Camp Nou from the Auditori 1899, where he will step out pitch side at the Camp Nou for the first time since taking over as Barca coach. A deal running through to 2022, the 30th of June of that year. Plenty summed up in that press conference. One thing that has been made clear by Quique Setién is that he's very set on his playing style. He's very excited to be taking the job, and that he promises good football from this Barca side, who have all the talent to come through with the goods and win trophies before the end of the season. And we await Quique Setién's arrival pitch side. He will take charge here at the Camp Nou against Granada at the weekend. The run-up for Barca sees Quique Setién coming at a busy time. Barca's upcoming fixes against Granada. They play Ibiza in the Copa del Rey on next Wednesday. Then Valencia, big game there against Albert Celares' side. Following that, meeting with another side from Valencia, Levante, side formerly of Quique Setién. He used to play for them in a brief spell. Then Betis, the most recent side that he coached, next up on the 9th of February. Champions League starts for Quique Setién. His first game in the competition comes against Napoli on the 25th of February. Well, exciting stuff on the horizon for Football Club Barcelona and for new coach Quique Setién. First Clásico for the Barça boss will come on the weekend of the 1st of March. Well, a lot of questions asked both of Quique Setién, Eric Abidal and Barça president Josep Maria Bartomeu in the press conference. Josep Maria Bartomeu being blunt about the fact that other coaches have been spoken to throughout the summer and beyond to look for their solution. And to look for options for the future. Josep Maria Bartomeu is saying this is completely normal. It's the regular job done by the technical staff. And that they did so being very open with Ernesto Valverde and also with the utmost discretion. They said only the name of Xavi had been revealed by the press.
Es que si no, no tendría sentido. Ya, dime, perdona.
Well, Quique Setién is about to come down onto the pitch. He will likely have that Barça shirt that he had in the press conference.
Hago yoga ahora. Se me nota, ¿verdad?
Yo no tengo paciencia para el yoga. Igual lo
No, ya se te ve que mucha... De buen rollo,
Quique Setién likely will be accompanied by Eric Abidal and Josep Maria Bartomeu, as well as his coaching staff.
Entonces yoga y ya me puedo apuntar otra vez. No pasa nada. Con los brazos. Bueno,
and this will be the dugout from which Quique Setién gives his orders to the Barça players.
Sí, bueno, pero eso tampoco es un problema, ¿sabes?
Va muy lento, tío. Mira,
Voy a ver qué hago, porque ahora hay que renovar. La pasta que no veo.
No pagan a Movistar. Y tendría que ser al revés, tío.
De verdad, da una rabia.
Well, it will be a new coaching staff brought in by Quique Setién. The likes of Eder Sarabia is number 2 at Betis.
La parte parcial de lo que he jugado.
Barça will be in training again later on. Quique Setién has emphasised how important hard work is for his players who have all the talent in the world. He's also spoken about how we will be supporting the academy players coming through. The young players from the B team who will be given full trust. If they're good enough, they will play, the promise of Quique Setién.
Yo creo que se sale ganando del lateral, ¿eh?
Well, the photographers begin to gather, making their way down from the Auditorio 1899. Well, these are the photos that will grace the front covers of the papers tomorrow. A big moment in Barca's season, the change explained by Josep Maria Bartomeu in the press conference. They thought it was a good time to do it just before the start of the second half of the season. Barca top of the league and still in with a chance of winning 3 competitions. The Copa del Rey gets underway with a trip to Ibiza. The Champions League sees Barca up against Napoli, and of course Barca top of La Liga Santander at the moment, heading into their game at the weekend.
Fa molts anys vaig treballar per l'AS, vaig anar allà.
Mira adelantado con su cámara aquí.
Ay, el pobre, ¿dónde está?
Quique Setién has spoken about the demands of the team, the unimprovable opportunity for him. He said that just yesterday he was walking amongst the cows in his hometown. Now he finds himself coaching the best players in the world.
Ese dinero, negociaron, dijeron. Entonces, ese dinero que no le pagan ahora a él, tampoco se lo pagan adelantado. No.
So we're still awaiting the arrival of Quique Setién down the steps at the Camp Nou, which will be his home until at least June of 2022.
¿Dónde va Sony?
Estoy probando.
Ah.
Mejor no la pruebes.
Va muy bien, ¿eh?
Vale. Audio select, esto de audio. Preset. Ese es más. Necesitas ese. ¿Puedo darle esto? ¿Y a este? ¿Y a este?
Well, Quique Setién admitting that maybe he doesn't have the CV of some of the other coaches in world football, but that his sides have always played attractive football. He had a promise that he's going to keep that up at Football Club Barcelona with the best resources available in terms of talented players.
Quants tens? Perquè en tenia dos. I ara en dius, no hi ha culpa. La dona o una altra? No m'ho puc creure.
A change of schedule this morning. The photo session moved to after the press conference. We did have a good 20 minutes or so listening to the views of Quique Setién on his appointment as a Barça coach. Very excited about the opportunity, but emphasising how important hard work is going to be. This morning, the outgoing Football Club Barcelona coach, Ernesto Valverde, departing from the Ciutat Deportiva, meeting the players for the last time, saying his goodbyes. Quique Setién coming in to coach his first session. He will coach another session later on.
A ver si viene por allí. So the photographers take their spot. Quique Setién, as ever, very direct with the press, very honest, and very blunt in his views. Our coach has always had a very good relationship with the media as well. Well, it looks as if Quique Setién is on his way for this, the photo opportunity following his presentation as Barca's new coach.
Y ahora al Luis.
Quique Setién's first game in charge will be that game against Granada at the weekend. Barça, who of course lost to Granada in the first half of the season. There's some unfinished business with Diego Martinez's side. Of course, Barça top of the table at the moment on goal difference. Several big fixtures coming up. It's not going to be an entry into the shallow end for Quique Setien. He will have several dates marked in the calendar already. He'll be looking at that game against Real Betis in particular. And of course the first Clásico in the opening week of March. And the dream of every coach to coach in the Champions League, coming up against Napoli, a two-legged tie in the last 16 of the Champions League. Europe's greatest club competition. So Quique Setién's photo opportunity is coming up as he just heads down from the auditory where he was presented just a few minutes ago. He signed his contract at around about 12:30 local time. After agreeing in principle yesterday to the deal, it was announced on the Barça website, where you can follow all the news. The summary of Quique Setién's press conference will be up later on, as well as several articles and features about the new man in charge to get to know him a little bit better before his first game in the dugout. Quique Setién, despite acknowledging his lack of silverware, is one of the most experienced coaches in Spanish football. Few in the top flight know the Spanish game like him. Had a couple of seasons at Betis, signing for them in 2017, guided them to 6th in the league and a spot in the Europa League. As well as last season, leading them to the semi-finals of the Copa del Rey. They lost to eventual winners Valencia due to some late goals. Well, after the excitement of finding out who the new Barça coach is, there'll be plenty of excitement seeing how Barça are going to play. Quique Setién acknowledged in that press conference that the one thing that remains clear is his philosophy. He is open to tactical changes, reverting to a 4-3-3 or even playing the 4-4-2 that we've seen recently from Ernesto Valverde. Philosophy and hard work taking precedence over any formation changes. Well, more and more photographers and journalists making their way down on what is a slightly chilly but sunny day in Barcelona. The pitch, as you can tell, at the Camp Nou, exquisite as ever. It's the perfect location for a first game in charge for Quique Setién. Well, that Copa del Rey tie announced today, taking place next Wednesday. It's an opportunity you would expect for him to take a closer look at some of the B-team players and the less frequently featured members of the Barça squad. Barça, the losing finalists in last year's Copa del Rey. That draw held today at Ciudad Las Rosas, the home of the Spanish Federation. Quique Setién's already had a look at some of the Barça B players. Iñaki Peña, Araujo, Ricky Puig, Carlos Perez and Ansu Fati. All part of the new coach's first session in charge. There are plenty of interesting facts about Quique Setién. The man known as El Maestro, a real idol at Racing Santander, a side now in the Spanish second division. He managed to achieve promotion with them to La Liga in 2002.
Que se'n refreden els macarrons.
Well, Quique Setién, no strangers to the Camp Nou. He's even scored here during his playing days. We're talking around about 3 decades ago, though. Once in a game for Logroñés in 1990-1991 in the league season. It was an eventual 2-1 victory for Barça on that occasion. Also scored against them at Racing's home ground, El Sardinero, in 1995.
Tiene que entrenar a las 6. Este hombre tiene que comer antes de marchar.
Tu davant, si vols.
A les 6 per estar en casa.
Quique Setién has just the experience of coaching one of the current Barça squad, Junior Firpo. Whom he coached during his time at the Benito Villamarín.
Vamos allá al bar, pedimos lo que queramos.
Sí, paga parga.
¿Vamos en tu cuenta?
Parga foto.
So having a slight delay in the photo call. Well, it's been a rapid-fire change of guard at the Camp Nou over the last under 24 hours. Albeit a decision that had been talked about over the last few months, including consulting Ernesto Valverde, the outgoing Barcelona coach. So Maria Bartomeu emphasising throughout the press conference that they'd always been open with Valverde. They've got a good relationship with him. They had spoken to Quique Setién in recent weeks and before. During the summer, they decided Valverde, the coach, to keep on. They had full confidence in him. Now they want the added boost of a change of manager for the remainder of the 2019-2020 season. Well, a few of the photographers getting slightly restless here.
Por ponernos nerviosos.
Noelia, no te muevas. Intentaré. Aquí estoy estática. ¿Estás bien?
Well, you'll be able to see highlights of the presentation on the Barça website later on, including photo galleries of this, one of the most important days of the year so far for Barça.
Habla muy bien.
Ay, mira, ya está. No pateixis, ja... No, ja ho sortiré una mica. ¿Cómo que flash?
And Racing Santander, Quique Setién, known as El Maestro, one of the idols of the club due to his time playing at there and his 12 seasons at coach.
Tiene que salir, sentarse e ir.
Played a dozen seasons for Racing Santander, also coached them to promotion to La Liga.
No lo veo.
Jo l'havia perdut i aquest dia vaig obrir el cotxe, que té una trampilla on hi ha la roda de recanvi.
Quique Setién also acknowledging during his press conference that when you're a coach out of work, you maybe don't expect to take on a side of the calibre of Barcelona, a side top of the La Liga table. He was expecting maybe offers from sides in relegation battles in difficult circumstances. Emphatic about the fact that this is a dream come true for him.
A què s'han oblidat? Ja han marxat.
T'imagines?
Estan dinant ja.
Ahora llaman. Oye, ¿dónde estás? En el hotel, ¿por qué? Pero si te hemos dicho que bajaras por la escalera. Ah, pero mira, al parking.
¿Tres vienen?
Tres entrenadores.
Ya ve.
2 minutos.
Van a hacer un triunvirato de Valverde.
Well, the news coming through, it's going to be just a couple more minutes before Quique Setién takes to the dugout.
¿Ya? Gracias. Ya ve.
Veo sombras. Pero que saldrá.
Hombre, saldrá Miguel.
Saldrá Miguel.
El chico de la red.
Alguien de tele.
Esta visión tan clara no la tendremos seguro.
Sería un detalle.
Estaría guay, ¿no? Subiendo las escalerillas. ¿Esas bandas son suyas o son de Messi?
¿Qué guantes van marcando? Que las ayudas ya están. Pero no hay algo aquí. No lo digo.
So Quique Setién will be back out coaching the side later on today.
Ya, no mejor, se pongan en medio. Que se ve la escalera, que feo.
Quique, al medio, por favor.
Aquí dice.
¿Algún saludo? ¿Alguna cosa?
Y se pone allá.
Quique.
Quique, al medio, por favor.
Quique. Arriba.
Medio.
Arriba, centro. Arriba, por favor.
Well, Quique Setién taking his spot in the dugout. There's his coaching staff, headed by Edes Sarabia, his faithful number 2. Well, the dugout in the Camp Nou will be very familiar over the coming months for Quique Setién. He'll take charge of some very, very big games on the horizon.
Un poco se puede. Un poco se viene aquí. Un poquito más. No mordemos, ¿no? Más cerca o ahí. Más cerca, más cerca. ¿Puedes subir? Sí. Perdón. Sí, sí, sí. Vale, vosotros aquí, por favor.
¿Podéis mirar los 4 a la vez al centro?
Los 4 aquí al lado de la cámara, por favor. Gracias. Al lado de tu cámara. De la de tele, la que importa.
Aquí, por favor, derecha, que s'estrenarà la banqueta imperial i Barça Granada.
We've had the official contract signing. There's also been the press conference with Quique Setién, Josep Maria Bartomeu and Eric Abidal. And now the photo session here at the Camp Nou, where Quique Setién has coached several games.
Mister, aquí, por favor. Mister, aquí.
Quique. Aquí un poquito, por favor.
Gracias.
Well, there we have it, Quique Setién, the new coach of Football Club Barcelona through to the 30th of June 2022.
Segurament encara mirant i aterrant 100% d'on està tot plegat, però el cert és que l'entrenador ja del Futbol Club Barcelona ha explicat a la sala de premsa, ja té moltes ganes que comenci tot plegat. Per tant, companys, aquesta ha estat la imatge. Ja coneix també la que serà la seva banqueta, Quique Setién. Aquí la música de transport, ja hem acabat de fer l'enviament aquest directe. Veig que ja està.